Hi, everybody, and welcome to Marketing Summit on Demand at Oracle CloudWorld. My name is Jake Spencer. I'm a Principal Product Strategy Manager here at Oracle, focusing on Oracle Unity Customer Data Platform. So today, really happy to be here with you and hope that we're able to go through and get you some information on customer data platforms in general and Oracle Unity overall. So this session is called Personalizing the Entire CX Journey with Oracle Unity Customer Data Platform. And we really wanted to take the next half an hour to go over a few things. We get to talk and work with some of the world's largest enterprise customers about their CX strategies. You, of course, watching this CloudWorld show on demand are likely one of them. And so we've been able to be fortunate to hear a bunch of the changing landscape and changing customer behavior environment that marketers and overall enterprises themselves are trying to grapple with as they start to balance how they deliver customer experience and how they also do that across many different points of customer engagement, like sales, service, marketing, advertising, and even more. So we want to talk a little bit about some of the things that we're hearing from you, our customers, and some of the things that we're seeing in the market and where a customer data platform might start to help. We wanted to talk as we listen to you and our customers give us feedback on the things that you're seeing in your markets and in your industries. We had thought of a couple key capabilities that we think all enterprises really need to drive personalized customer experience across all of the different channels that you might be operating in as a business. So we think that there are some core capabilities needed, and we want to talk about that in the context of customer data platforms. And then finally, because this is a product session, we want to get you introduced to Oracle Unity, talk through a few high-level feature functions of our customer data platform, why we think we've positioned ourselves well in the market to solve complex enterprise customer data challenges with our customer data platform. I want to walk you through just a quick use case, not a full-on demo, but I'll show you where you can go get a demo, a quick use case, and then give you some final thoughts before we send you on our way. So, lot to get through in the next 30 minutes. I want to go ahead and jump right in. You're going to hear a lot in this on-demand summit, and if you come and join us at CloudWorld Live, you'll hear a lot about customer experience. And that is, I would say, the driving force behind every single marketing brand or every single marketer going through and starting to think about how do we compete in the market. A lot of times, especially post-COVID-19 pandemic, experience is a huge driver of why brands win. And it's no longer a nice to have as it was maybe a decade ago to really focus on customer experience. If you are not driving customer experience, really focusing there, you will put your brand survival at risk. And experience is really a lot of core components coming together. A customer experience, it needs to be authentic, needs to be context aware, needs to be empathetic. And most importantly these days, it needs to be across multiple different channels. And so that's easier said than done, obviously, but those who can get that experience right get some value and business value out of that. And those who are not, and those brands who are not doing that, are going to start to falter a little bit. And some of the data from McKinsey starts to showcase that in terms of the customer behaviors changing and focused on experience. Over the COVID-19 pandemic, McKinsey found that over 3/4 of consumers switched to a new store, a new product, or a new buying method. And more than 80% of those switchers intend to continue with those new behaviors, those new stores, those new buying patterns, which are largely shifted towards digital as we were no longer able to come and be close to each other and go in store and make purchases. That study further found that 71% of consumers expect companies to deliver personalized interactions, and 76 of those respondents get frustrated when that doesn't happen. Last but not least, 40% of companies, McKinsey found, that excel at personalization generate 40% more revenue from those activities than average players. Across US industries, shifting to the top quartile performance in personalization would generate over $1 trillion in revenue value for a business. And so there's really two varying sides here. Personalization is important, experience is important. If you can get it right as a brand, it means quite a bit for your business in terms of the value that you can bring in for yourself. And if you get it wrong, we are looking at a customer base and customer behaviors that are largely attuned to picking the brands with the right experiences and who are largely willing to switch now. This changing landscape requires some new strategies, but we wanted to kind of talk about the opportunities for marketers in order to leverage data to transition and create customer experience. First and foremost, even though we've been focused in an industry for a very long time about making the most of customer data, there is still a wealth for a majority of enterprises of untapped customer data sitting in silos containing key customer signals that goes unleveraged. Or if it is being leveraged, it gets leveraged a little bit too late. And so if you think about the ability to create and leverage data in real time, to be able to gather signals, manage that data, organize it, and activate it, that requires some key capabilities. Looking at even core back office systems that are not being leveraged to impact CX. Those are opportunities, especially with the deprecation of the third-party cookie. More enterprise data sources of insight and signals will be required for marketers to take advantage of. And then ultimately, disconnected activation. You, me, and everybody else that you know has had a disconnected experience with a brand before. Maybe you bought something and then you get an email offer for that exact same item 2 or 3 days later. Disconnected activation is due to the wealth of untapped customer data sitting in silos across the enterprise, and marketers truly just not being able to work with that data either fast enough or bring all that data together in context and then orchestrate it across a bunch of different channels. When we talk with marketers, we hear a lot about them needing to do more with less. And so differentiated marketing really is going to require moving quickly with fewer resources and budget as companies start to look at bottom lines and say, hey, where do our budgets get cut and where do we start to tighten our belt a little bit? Oftentimes, our ad dollars look a little stagnant. Our marketing campaign dollars look a little stagnant. And so marketers are going to have, in the future, more limited time for innovation, lack of support to grow and scale, and also siloed metrics and inability to inform planning. And so marketers are going to need to be really, really creative with customer data and really insightful with how they use that data and where they activate their campaigns in order to maintain growth with limited budget, with limited time, and with limited ability to go through and start to measure that in a single unified place. Last but not least, privacy and personalization. We've talked a lot about personalization, which isn't going to go away for marketers it isn't a desire that's going to go away for consumers anytime soon. But what we see is a balancing act now with privacy and personalization, where marketers are not only required to personalize experiences where they can, but also ensure that we're honoring privacy when we think about GDPR and CCPA. Ultimately, how a brand handles data and honors consent and privacy requests is going to build trust with that particular customer. And again, encourage them to come back and continue to do business. However, the balance between privacy and personalization, what information I know about you, how I use it, how I build trust over time, is going to continue to be a changing landscape as we start to kind of figure out how to build privacy into the customer experience and honor that downstream across a bunch of different technologies as well. So there's some new imperatives across all of these changes. We think that there's some key and core fundamental things that marketers and enterprises are going to need to deliver real-time experiences. First and foremost, the ability to personalize at scale, which is going to require brands knowing their customer and building unified and trusted profiles in order to work off of and activate and orchestrate across channels. Predictive personalization, your ability to lead the CX journey rather than react to the CX journey, is going to require some AI and ML functionality, as well as many customer signals as you can gather and put together in order to inform your own marketing and customer experience campaigns. And then that personalization needs to be cross-channel. Coordination in channels and campaigns as intelligence is collected is important, and it's going to be required for you to be able to personalize across all of these different touch points that exist in your organization. I need to orchestrate this data and my customer intelligence across sales, across service, and certainly across marketing and advertising. Marketers and enterprises are going to need to be able to connect experiences. So we talked a lot about digitally orchestrating and leading intelligent journeys for customers and employees. Activation in real time across channels is increasingly important. Customer experience, when we talk about that being an outcome for your brand, Oftentimes, customer experience happens in the moment. You need to have tools that allow you to collect and gather customer signals, make sense of them, and allow marketers to be able to set up opportunities to activate that data in real time across a ton of different channels. And last but not least, being able to differentiate marketing is going to be important as you build differentiated customer experience. So freeing up time for innovation, really starting to get away from doing a lot of data dirty work and integration work, and looking at opportunities to leverage AI and ML to ask the right questions of data that is there, and even start to get into industry specific opportunities and put data in the context of your industry. Last but not least, we need to integrate to that tech stack, apps, build apps that grow with the business, and start to think about more modern UX in order for both developers to have an opportunity to make use of data and marketers to be able to have the tools available to them to leverage that data across channels. So what does this kind of all say here at the last couple minutes here? Delivering the right experiences in the right channels in the right moments requires your business to understand your customers through data. And a couple of key feature and function capabilities needed to do that is, and as I mentioned, unified customer profile, being able to have an accurate single source of truth on your customers from which to build audiences and campaigns from, that unifies data from across that enterprise to build a complete and accurate picture. Enrichment, being able to add demographic, firmographic information, especially at the account level, if I'm a B2B marketer, to be able to understand, hey, how are things going? How do we start to accurately get more information, leveraging these third-party data sets that I might have access to, or even second-party data sets that I might have access to. Segmentation is important. When we talk about personalization, oftentimes enterprises are still in a one-to-many personalization scenario. I know somebody, has, I've got a couple key pieces of information where I can drive one-to-many personalization. But remember, as we talked about in those McKinsey stats previously, if we can get down to one-to-one personalization and be a personalization leader, that is where we're going to start shining. And so segmentation capabilities are going to be important there in order for us to go from one-to-many personalization to one-to-few, and then ideally one-to-one. AI and intelligence are going to be needed in order to deliver real-time personalized experiences. Just too much data in order for humans and marketers and any sort of business user to come through and actually make sense of it. And so we want to be able to leverage as much AI and ML as possible in order to drive predictive experiences. We need real-time decisioning, and we need to be able to activate that data across many, many different channels. And so a lot of those capabilities, and those are core to customer data platforms. And we're really, really excited about Oracle Unity because it is truly at the heart of at the heart of unifying data from across the enterprise, back office to front office, across CX applications and across your technology stack, to deliver real-time connected experiences, not just for marketing, which is where CDPs typically get their start, right? We're going to start with a customer data platform use case to impact customer experiences for our marketing team. But Unity is really nicely positioned across Oracle marketing, sales, service, and advertising to create a foundational data layer and data foundation across all of these key touch points from across the customer lifecycle. So I want to talk a little bit about Oracle Unity CDP, some of the functionality, core features, and get you familiar with what CDPs can do for your business. So let's talk about Oracle Unity. Again, at the very center of customer data platforms should be the customer. All of these signals and interactions that we're grabbing from back office applications, from front office engagements, from even streaming behavioral data to create a picture of our customers wherever they might be. And so that's one of the first core functions of Oracle Unity, is to build and essentially take all of these enterprise data silos and turn them into usable and accurate customer profiles. And we do that through a couple of different ways. We do it, again, as I mentioned, across back office and front office data sources, data from your data lake, first, second, and third-party data, all of this information that's available to your enterprise that's likely sitting all around your enterprise. We want to make sure that we make use of that, unify that, and organize that in a way that's usable for marketers, resolve identity, take these unknown customers and create known customer profiles, and start to build accurate customer profiles upon which we can start to segment and predict what they might need with real-time intelligent decisioning. So Oracle Unity is going to take those customers those profiles that we're building, and build in attributes that are essentially bringing context to the customer. And so not just clickstream data, not just behavioral data that we might have, not just back office data, but bringing and organizing that data in context is going to be a core function of what Unity is going to bring for your business. And so not only am I going to have a customer profile, but I'm going to have some attributes about, is a customer a VIP? Is a customer likely to churn? Is this customer going to respond to a particular campaign at a particular time or not? Those attributes are things that I can use as a business user or marketer and start to ask questions of data, or even leverage those in segmentation, which is going to be, again, highly important in order for me to not waste my time, not waste ad and marketing spend, and also ensure that I am personalizing experiences across channels. And that's that third part, is being able to not only build these customer profiles, create these smart audiences via segmentation capabilities, and then also running AI and ML to build predictive audiences, but I need to bring that data to the points of engagement. And so Unity is going to be able to orchestrate experiences in real time via integrations, real-time personalized experiences across MarTech and AdTech channels, as well as extensions into sales and service channels for you to be able to inform and optimize the experience wherever your customer is at. I want to drop into a couple of these in detail just to kind of walk you through these products. And so, walk you through the CDP. And so let's start first with understanding each customer and how we build this unified profile. Unity is purpose-built, and CDPs in general are purpose-built to connect all data into a unified profile across marketing, service, sales, commerce, loyalty, third-party systems that you might have access to, back office data, and also real-time behaviors, in order to bring in as much information as we can across all of these signals that are within your business to create a unified profile and single view of the customer. One of our telco providers that are as a Unity customers, connecting 23 sources of data within their enterprise currently to build about 74 million customer profiles. And we think that is, again, a key use case for CDPs in order to bring all of this, break down all of these enterprise data silos and build a unified profile. Organization of that data is very important as well. And so Unity provides customizable and industry-specific data models in order for you to bring context to that data and build attributes around that data. Who is a customer, product, campaign, purchase? How do I start to bring data in the context of a specific industry or in the context of a customer? Again, not just talking about clickstream data or what purchases they might have made that I brought in, but going through and building in via these industry-specific data models, information and attributes that are usable to your business users and your marketers to segment and activate off of. Is a customer a VIP? When's the last time a customer logged in or visited a store? How can I go through and ensure that this customer is likely or not to churn? Those are attributes that can be built in order for you to bring context to the customer profile. One of our auto retailers leverages about 340 custom attributes. Again, being able to understand points of data to bring one-to-many personalization to one-to-few and one-to-one. As we do all that and bring in, and as Unity does all that and brings in all of these enterprise data sources and organizes that into a customer profile, it also runs identity resolution in order to build a most robust customer profile that you can, in order to go from name, email address that you might be working off today, or out to, hey, what's name, churn score, how many returns has this person done, every issue that they brought up with the service team, what offline data do I know about this, what are other members of this particular household. These can be, over time, as we start to build accurate profiling, really, really key sources of valuable and rich insight about each individual customer within our CDP that we can leverage to create customer experience across channels. So creating the customer profile is point one. We want to talk about the prediction and some of the data science capabilities as we build in these attributes, as we build in customer profiles that are accurate and trusted. We're going to want to leverage AI and ML to create intelligent decisions. And Unity is really well positioned to start to answer some of these questions in real time and some of them ahead of time as well. But really, Oracle approaches this intelligent workbench, and Unity approaches this intelligence workbench that enables some of our data science capabilities in a couple of ways that are interesting and unique in the market. First and foremost, by having the AI and ML models within the CDP, you are bringing that model a lot closer to where the actual CX outcome is going to be driven. And so these models and these data science capabilities within Oracle Unity, because of the CDP's place connected, the CDP's place that is connected to outbound engagement channels, we want to be able to leverage those scores as they happen and leverage those predictive insights as they happen. If I'm doing that in another ML capability or in another ML platform, that's just additional work that I'm going to need my data science team or developers to do in order to get that information out to me. These models are shared across the marketing or Oracle marketing portfolio, which means improved reuse and accuracy. And last but not least, these are native to the product, meaning that your users are going to leverage the power of AI and ML without extra add-ons and fees. What you'll see in the market is that oftentimes data science and AI and ML capabilities are add-ons to CDP. We feel like this is really, really important for our customers to have access to, and it's going to be even more important as CDP adoption and data ingestion into the CDP grows. And so we want to be able to have you leverage that data science capability right from the start. So I talked about two things and two core capabilities around data science. One is real-time decisioning, so asking questions of your data in the moment. That is a core capability of CDP, and that is going to help answer some unique questions via AI and ML, like, hey, what optimized content and messaging should I provide this person in the moment? What's the preferred channel of engagement if somebody were to abandon a particular conversion opportunity where I can start a campaign right away? What in-session insights can I start to do when somebody's gotten onto a digital property of mine and I want to optimize that experience as they move through that journey in order to make sure that they are having the right experience that they want to. I can leverage real-time decisioning and AI and ML to do that. And last but not least, real-time triggers. So as things happen in the customer experience, leveraging AI and ML capabilities to predict what types of other CX opportunities there might be in campaigns that there might be opportunities for. Within Oracle Unity, there's also out-of-the-box models and tools to drive ahead-of-time decisionings, to do scores and calculation and propensity in order to inform future campaigns and insights. So things like recency, frequency, and monetary calculations, asking questions around churn analysis and doing churn propensity modeling, doing campaign optimization and campaign time optimization. Even going through and driving or having the flexibility to bring your own model within Oracle Unity that a data science team might have created on your specific team for your specific business. Unity can also has the flexibility to bring those models into the CDP in order to do scoring on the data. What's the next best offer for a particular segment? What's the optimal price point for conversion? These are all key questions and calculations that AI and ML can help marketers get insight into in order to drive predictive outcomes and experiences. So we've completed the customer profile. We're starting to predict what they need through AI and ML intelligence. And now we need to get all of this good data across a bunch of different channels. And so integration is core to the value of a CDP, and Unity has been busy establishing connectivity. We've had over 130 integrations that have been enhanced to make it easier for you to connect across platforms. Not only Oracle platforms, which are obviously going to be key to our Oracle customers, but also any third-party application that you are likely to integrate customer data platform data with. We want you to be able to leverage that and specifically start to leverage that across more advertising technology as well. So you'll see more data and integrations from us for Facebook, which is available today in Facebook advertising, Google advertising, LinkedIn, and more as first-party data that's stored within a CDP, and those customer profiles and audiences become increasingly important for improved targeting, measurement, and retargeting and lookalike modeling in these walled gardens as third-party cookies begin to deprecate. But we wanted to just kind of touch on the fact that personalization and being able to go across sales, service, marketing, all of these customer touch points, it's going to require a lot of good integration capability in Oracle Unity. We've been doing that for about the past year now, making sure that we're integrating where our customers want to activate their data. So I want to walk through just a really quick example of how this all comes together here in the last 5 minutes and show you, hey, how am I starting to flow out into a use case via a CDP in order to orchestrate personalized experiences. Give me an example here. And we wanted to do that and talk about a use case around improving customer retention by automating lifetime events with personalized experiences. And again, you'll see a couple different destinations here. You'll see advertising, you'll see marketing, you'll see service, all from this kind of CDP-based flow. So we're going to start with consumers and marketers. Obviously, those are going to be the two things: marketers wanting to impact the experience and consumers wanting walking through that experience. And so a CDP use case is likely going to start with a marketer creating a lifetime segment or audience in the CDP and scheduling triggers and selecting personalization attributes for those lifetime events that are likely to happen with customer behavior on their own properties. Customer behavior goes through and triggers these real-time signals that we've set up from the behavioral analytics and or together with back office data that we've brought in, such as birth date or loyalty scores or anything else that is fed into a CDP. And so as we start to go through and understand those customer behaviors and those real-time signals are brought into the CDP with lifetime audiences and triggers already built in, we're going to start to build predictive and next best offers within the CDP and sales actions for each individual customer or contact and orchestrate that across channels. Again, personalization across website and mobile apps, campaign management across email, maybe push and SMS, ad tech for advertising, and then round trip that data as we start to bring that personalized campaign to bear across all of these channels. We're going to bring that back into analytics, bring all of that information about the campaign back into the CDP and run that again, right? So continue running those predictive models across personalization opportunities, across marketing and campaign management, maybe even across sales and service in order to orchestrate that across channels. But you can see from this just quick flow that the CDP is really going to be at the heart of bringing all of that data together that the marketer has already on hand from back office, from loyalty systems, from any other source of data. And then as customer behavior is happening in real time, again, bringing that information back to the CDP to calculate next best offers, next best actions, build more audiences and segments in order to continue personalization in campaigns. So there's a lot of CDPs in the market. We wanted to just really quickly cover why we think we're doing something unique at Oracle Unity and where the opportunity lies. There's a couple reasons why we think we've built a really, really strong and I would say leading CDP offering in the market, and why we think partnering with Oracle on this is something that presents a lot of opportunity for your business. I talked a lot about this first point up front, connecting the entire CX front to office, back to office. But as you go through and you evaluate CDPs in the market, there's really only one CDP, which is Oracle Unity, that has a rich heritage, enough scale, and enough flexibility to connect all of these different enterprise data sources that are likely to exist within your enterprise, and the flexibility to work across B2B and B2C. Some CDPs are really focused on the marketer, really focused on a couple of outcomes like improving email orchestration and starting to just kind of unify web and mobile data. Unity is built for complex enterprise data needs and starting to build in all of these enterprise data sources to impact customer experience and make you a personalization leader. Unity is built from the ground up on Oracle Cloud infrastructure that's safe, secure, trusted, highly scalable. And so we want to make sure that that is something that you consider as well, as that is Unity is built on OCI. Cross-industry and expertise in custom data models. That is, I would say we covered that a little bit in the organization portion, but going through across our industry, we're looking at obviously ways to make and give you context into your data. And so that's an opportunity. Bringing real-time behavioral streaming, ingestion, prediction, and activation, all of that good real-time capability. Data science baked into the solution. It's not an add-on. Flexible mastering and a robust 360 view of customer profiles, as well as opening up the flexibility to allow you to build any other, a single view of any other object that exists in the CDP. And last but not least, obviously with our investments in advertising and marketing, Unity is a really nice spot to unite ad tech and martech around the cookieless future. We obviously think our CDP is a leading candidate in the market. We wanted to just point you to a few resources of other industry recognition that we'd love for you to go take a look at, and would be happy to go through with you. IDC MarketScape, we were named a leader in that MarketScape for data and marketing operations users. The Forrester Wave for B2B standalone CDP. In early 2021, we won the Ad Week Reader's Choice for Best Customer Data Platform. And then last but not least, the Forrester Wave for Digital Experiences. Oracle was named a leader in that report as well. I'll show you where you can get some access to those reports if you want to take a read for yourself. Last thing I wanted to mention before we go into some of the follow-ups here, if you're at Oracle CloudWorld, we have a bunch of great Unity customers. We have a ton of great customers from across various different industries. But if you want to hear from Unity customers about their use case and how they're going through Unity, I encourage you to go and join some of these sessions with Red Bull Racing, Pet Supplies Plus, and AT&T, and make sure that you are able to go through and hear from some of our customers about their use of Unity. And then really quickly, before I finish off here, where can you learn more at Oracle CloudWorld? If you're going to be with us for live sessions, these are 3 that I would pick out. There's going to be plenty of customer data platform conversation going on, but finding success with customer data platforms is going to be a good one. That's where we're going to hear from AT&T and Accenture on their use of customer data platforms. Build trust through permission-based marketing, another great session with one of our key partners, OneTrust, on how a CDP can fit into privacy initiatives and help build customer trust by orchestrating privacy and making that a part of the customer experience. And last but not least, get ready for MadTech. That's one of that's a little bit of a deep dive into that bullet that I said of, hey, we've got a really robust advertising and marketing portfolio. How do I start to bring all of these things together to help me in a world without third-party cookies? If you can't join us live at Oracle CloudWorld and you want to learn more on demand at oracle.com, please go to the Oracle Unity website. We've got a ton of great resources for you there. If you just jump on Google and search in Oracle Unity, our webpage will pop up there first. If you don't want to dig through too much on oracle.com, you'll be able to, on the Unity website, get in-depth demos by persona. You'll be able to go through and grab some of those reports that I highlighted earlier from industry analysts and see how Unity stacks and ranks in the market. And then last but not least, even industry-specific learning. If you're saying, hey, this is great, it seems like, I don't exactly know how to grasp the CDP use cases for a financial services company yet, or for a healthcare company or telecommunications, we've got industry-specific learning for you there. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you have a great rest of the on-demand version of Oracle Marketing Summit. If you are at CloudWorld Live, please come say hi. Please come to these CDP sessions. And we're here to speak with you and help you out on your customer data platform journey. Thank you.